I'm now up to number 5 in my second chance rewatch series, and today is Shrooms from 2007, and in all honesty, I don't really remember that much about this movie. I remember it's about a bunch of teens getting spaced on shrooms in a field, hence the name of the movie, and I think at some point there's a car crash in this movie. Don't quote me on that, but I think there's a car crash in it. But when I was looking at pictures for this movie, this guy popped up, and I was like, he is way too cool looking for what I remember about this movie. Why don't I remember him? Hence why it's getting a second chance rewatch. But if you don't know anything about Shrooms from 2007, let me quickly fill you in. A group of American students arrive in Ireland to get high on magic mushrooms. It is not long before they are left high and dry as a mysterious killer prowls the woods where they are camping. If you're new here, I go by Hordes and I talk about all things horror here on my channel, but when it comes to watching movies, I am now going to go and watch Shrooms from 2007 off camera, so that way, if you two decide that you want to watch this movie, nothing will be spoilt for you, because nobody wants to watch a movie you've just watched somebody else watch from start to finish.
Don't do drugs!
Okay, so, no car crash, so I can't tell you what movie I was thinking this was going to be, and I love how my DVD copy says that this is the unseen version, which is 2 minutes longer than the theatrical cut, and trust me, those 2 minutes made no difference whatsoever, so brace yourselves because this is going to be a rant review.
Already, kid?
In school, did you ever have to watch those videos that were like, don't do drugs, drugs bad, say no to drugs kids? Or you'd get an acting troupe come in and they'd do the exact same thing as the videos, but one person would like die from an OD, and then the actors would be like, don't do them because you'll end up like this guy and die. Well, this movie is just one of those, but the extended version. It feels like this movie was written by somebody who thinks this is what it's like to trip out on something, but has never actually done it before. It took me one Google search to do a little bit of research about it, and it turns out a trip on shrooms lasts between 4 to 6 hours. The peak is about 2 hours in, and they do show up about 24 hours later on a drugs test. Now, these kids are tripping for hours, like hours. We're talking, it starts the evening day one, and by the afternoon the next day, they are still tripping balls, like, no. And it's made worse, the fact that they are acting. Like, have you ever been at a wedding or a Christmas party and a 12-year-old has had one sip of alcohol and they go around the entire evening being like, I'm pissed, I'm drunk? That is the acting in this. Oh, it's not good. It's not good at all.
I'm pissed and I don't give a shit, come on.
Genuine question to all of my Americans that watch me. Do you not have shrooms in America? Because I am so confused as to why you would get on a plane and travel 6 to 8 hours, depending on what state you're in, to Ireland just to get spaced in a field if you could simply get in your car. Like, I need to know this because it's gonna bug me, because nobody in their right mind is getting on a plane for 8 hours to get spaced in a field when you could do it an hour down the road. Everyone in this movie is annoying as hell, and they're all interchangeable. Like, there is a final girl in this movie, and you could swap them out for any single other character, and it would not have an impact on the ending of this movie, and that is a big issue. Like, if none of your characters are distinguishable from each other, besides how one of them is blonde, and one of them is a dickhead that's got death and coma, like, not even tattooed on his fingers, on knuckle rings, like, that's a writing issue. Like, the fact that they didn't develop these characters beyond a name on a piece of paper is a big issue for me, and there's only one character whose name I can remember, and that is the dickhead with the knuckle rings, because they named him Bluto, which is the name of, which is Popeye's villain in the cartoon. Like, okay, I guess. I question, though, why the one character in this that is supposed to have spent his entire life in Ireland, born and bred, has an East London accent. Like, where did that come from? Like, this actor has made no effort to do an Irish accent at any point in this movie. And he has an incredibly problematic comment at one point about what he calls the indigenous folks. So, the local Irish people that, like, that's not aged well as a comment.
And he was racist.
The plot of this movie is so unengaging and so lackluster. You've got issues when the best part of your movie is the opening 2 minutes, and then in the next 6 minutes they just bombard you with every trope and every stereotype that you can think of that goes with teens in a horror movie in the setup part of it. So we've got the jock, the virgin girl, the stoner, they're all here and they're all annoying as hell. Like, the best part of this movie is when a guy is high as hell and starts talking to an imaginary cow. Now, the whole tripping part of this movie, have you ever watched a movie or heard something or played a game and then had a dream about that thing? That is this movie, and they've basically taken that opening 2 minutes and used it as like a story or a folklore to tell around a campfire, and it's one character eats a mushroom that she's not supposed to eat and could possibly die from it, starts hallucinating, and then starts seeing things that relate to the story that has been told around a campfire. That's it. I saw somebody on Letterboxd describe this movie as if you ordered Midsommar on Wish, and it is so accurate that I can't think of this movie in any other way. Like, I hated the ending of this movie. That twist is awful. And the special effects in this movie, somebody grew up watching That's So Raven, because the number of times one of these characters has like a trippy vision and sees the future, like Raven Simone somewhere is like, girl, you're coming for my gig. This movie was a waste of an hour and 24 minutes that I could have spent doing absolutely anything else. And I can't give this movie more than a 1 out of 5 stars because the plot is awful and non-existent. The acting is also awful. The ending is awful, and they don't use the best thing in the movie, which I was promised in the trailer, which is the gnarly goblin man. So it's safe to say that Shrooms has not changed my opinion on it, and is in fact probably got worse than when I first watched it. Now, there is absolutely no way that I will be rewatching this movie again in the future, and hopefully my brain remembers how bad this movie is for the next time I decide, did I actually watch this movie? Yes, we did, and there's now video evidence for future me to refer back to. So there you have it, my thoughts and my review for my second time watching Shrooms from 2007. If you've also seen this movie, I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are down in the comments section down below. If you would like to know every single movie that I watch, not just the ones I talk about here on YouTube, you can find me over on Letterboxd and Instagram at HordesOfHorror, and I will be back on Monday with a brand new movie review for a 2023 found footage movie about cryptids, which I am very excited for because I can't believe it took me this long to find this movie. So until next time, bye.